Did you know that Google personalizes many searches by city and Also Asked is the only tool to access live People Also Asked data at city level? Try for free at alsoasked.com.
Tired of SEO guesswork? Quadra's AI agent goes deeper to uncover high-impact optimizations and completes hours of SEO in minutes. Get started now.
I was going to say that SEO with Fat Joe is as peaceful as this, but then the birds are all having fights.
So hopefully I'm going to unlock some data that can help join those two presentations and give you some confidence to go beat up your CEO for some more SEO budgets. A little bit about me. I was formerly at Search Laboratory, which we were in Leeds also, and then at Summit. I recently set up Ahrefs because we had this problem with getting all our data into one place. Completely agree about getting all your data into BigQuery, and then doing that is going to unlock everything, which is sort of how we started Ahrefs, was getting all that data out into BigQuery to then visualize it a lot better, because before you just couldn't do it. So if you want the slides, just email slides to john@askbosco.com. I can send them straight over to you after this today. So I think we've all got a bit of a fix in digital marketing generally, and certainly the board and the bosses have got addicted to Google ads. A bit like I'm addicted to my coffee in the morning, and people have been used to sort of paying their £1 and getting their £10 back, and it's almost a problem that's been created. And we're going to go through some data, because some people say, oh, it's different and it works, but actually I've got the data to show you why we are all still addicted to Google ads and why that's not good for your business long term. So this is the problem we all face as SEOs and as digital marketers. There's fundamentally too much data, and it's knowing which bits of data we actually need to use to help us build our business case and build the story to get what we want to get to. And there's a bit of a lack of trust, I think, particularly in SEO with everything that's happened over the years. I think, and also in the C-suite, there's a bit of a lack of trust and a bit of nervousness. And Google, as the big winners in Black Friday, I did a presentation at another conference before, and the big winners in Black Friday aren't the brands, it's the ad platforms. Ads costs are going up, tighter margins. Put on top of that your duties if you want to send stuff to America. And it's getting difficult for all of you guys, whether you're an agency or an in-house team, to actually put a plan together, report on this, and actually build a forecast. So it feels a bit like we've all got addicted to the diet pills, when actually we should be changing our lifestyle and having a healthier lifestyle, but we're sort of still over there. So I'm going to go through and hopefully give you a formula and some data that you can help build your argument, whether it's for your clients, if you're an agency, or whether it's for your team internally. And I think this is still a fundamental problem. We speak to a lot of different brands that really don't invest in SEO because they're scared of what's happened in the past, and they're scared of different tactics people have done, and they think, well, SEO doesn't work, right? You wouldn't be here if SEO didn't work. This thing wouldn't be a thing. But I do still see a lot of senior people that are very nervous about spending the amount of money they spend on PPC. They wouldn't invest into SEO. There's other big problems is silos. We've got different teams in different businesses and even in the agencies that don't talk to each other. All have different targets and all have different people running these different teams. I think that we need to break these silos down. I'm going to sort of talk through how I think you can do that. But we used to do all the PPC at a former agency. Is anybody here from Argos before I? No, right, good. And at Black Friday time, PPC's rule wasn't, they weren't allowed to bid on brand, right? But they were missing their target, right? So what did they do? Started bidding on brand on Black Friday, and then the SEO managers running down the corridor going, what are you doing? Because I'm now going to miss my target. So it's these internal silos and the different targets that I think are causing big problems. Everybody sort of says this should be the mix, right? SEO should be getting the lion's share of the traffic to the site. Right, and I Googled so many different things, asked all the different AIs what should be, and this was sort of like what the mix and what good should look like. But I don't see that in our data. And I'm going to go through the data and sort of walk through this and tell you what we see in the data. And it'd be interesting for you to go back next week and have a look at your data and see what you see. We all know that you get higher click-through rates on position 1 if you're in the top half of Google. That is sort of changing now with all the search, generative search and getting pushed down, but click-through rate is still higher on SEO. We know that. Google, for the first time last quarter, had a drop in their search traffic for the first time ever. Some of that is going to the generative things, but I was sort of curious. You've probably sat in maybe 5 or 6 different talks the last couple of days about the future of search being generative AI. I'm not convinced that's the data you need to be looking at right now. I think it will become a thing, but I don't think it's going to be significant right now. Completely agree with the story about brand. So I asked Perplexity, is AI search going to take over? And the summary, without waiting for it all to load, is not really, not now, not quick enough. And there isn't enough data yet for us to worry about that. So I'm going to talk through the data we should be worrying about where you can unlock bigger SEO budgets. So it's like 14% of overall market share by 2018, right? That's, sorry, not 2018, 2028. So we need to join all this data together, like we were talking about getting it all into BigQuery. Once you've done that, you can then unlock the big prize. So we looked at, so we've got 254, when we did these slides, clients' actual data in Ahrefs. That represented 353 million sessions, 7 million conversions, 812 million pounds worth of revenue. And that's all our clients across all the data, across loads of different verticals and different things. Then we split that by organic versus paid, and this is sort of where it starts getting interesting. All right, so if we go back to what good was meant to look like, you would expect organic to have more than paid. But actually, paid is winning across these, and actually organic's got a better average order value across all our clients. And so, but we're not seeing the volume of traffic at the 60-30 that we should be seeing. So I started drilling into some individual client data and thought, well, we want to focus on non-brand. The reason I said I'd share the slides, because I'm conscious some of these numbers are very small, so apologies about that. About sessions, revenue, and the value of all sessions, and I looked at non-brand here, SEO and PPC. And what we can see here is the actual conversion rate for SEO is better than the conversion rates for PPC. All right, so there's straight away you could start extracting this data and start building a business case to say, well, hang on, we should be doing more effort on our sort of non-brand conversions rate is better on SEO than it is on PPC. Let's go and find out how we can build our content plan for our non-brand SEO. So, and again, this is just highlighting the issue. We're all still addicted to Google, and we need to unlock this. And that client back there, they're spending about £150,000 a month on Google. I think they're investing about maybe £4,000 or £5,000 a month in SEO. That's part of the problem, I think. So what we want to do is reduce this PPC spend. If you will learn one thing, we can do PowerPoint. I'm really proud of this slide. Let's go. So we need to find the keywords that matter. We're talking about getting all your data into the same place. That is exactly what you need to do, and you need to find the keywords that matter. And what you want to do is find where are the paid search terms that are working where you're not ranking. We help brands and agencies forecast where to spend their PPC money. And we then say, here's where you should spend your PPC money, and here's the campaigns and the keywords you should be investing in. But why don't we extract that data and say, let's not just spend the money, let's go and optimize our SEO pages that could rank for those. So this is an example of how we forecast paid search, but if we could take those same keywords and campaigns, look forward, maybe we don't need to spend £41,000 on those keywords, and we could actually improve our rankings. So by combining your Search Console data, your GA4 data, and your AdWords data all into BigQuery or in something like Ahrefs, you can then start seeing, well, what are we spending and what positions are we in? And then where are the opportunities? right? And that seems really logical, but if we're all honest, you might do that once a year, maybe once a quarter, but not everybody's doing it all the time and driving the strategy and helping build the business case to convince the senior people to invest more money in proper SEO. And then you get this whole sort of situation, you get your keywords, and then you've got to go and create the strategy. So we've been playing a lot internally and with some of our agency partners. Once you've got all this data and you know what you need to do, is how can you start, who's been using any agentic AI models or started building out, and there's different views on AI here about is it good, is it bad, should we be using AI content, but we're all going to be using elements of AI content. But to do an SEO plan properly is still quite labour intensive. Right? And going back to the point that was made earlier is we shouldn't be presenting plans to clients and then them not taking the action. So another thing I think you should look at, it's nothing to do with Ask Bosco, but I'm just fascinated about it at the moment, is if you haven't played with N8N, you should go away and have a play. It basically enables you to build separate different AI models, and this guy's got a really sort of simple way to do it, and you can connect them all. So if you've got, once you've loaded the right data in the first bit that we were talking about, you can then go away and start building it. And that, we've been playing with it internally. It's super cool, and you can really save yourself a huge amount of time. So I'm a little bit ahead of schedule, which is good. So in summary, you need to connect all your data, get it all into BigQuery or into another platform like that where you've got live actual data. You then need to start looking at valuing each session in keyword, and then start looking at your paid forecast, strip out your paid forecast, and then go and use that to optimize your SEO content plans. And then you can find those low-hanging fruits, so you're not trying to take on the big keywords, you're trying to take on the most valuable keywords that you would have spent money on PPC. Automate your content planning process using something like N8N, hopefully get a budget, more budget, hopefully then make more sales, get more recognition, get a promotion. That would be nice. So we've got some Kit Kats, not Japanese Kit Kats, I'm sorry. We've also got Kit Kats because our whole thing is take a break from manual reporting. We've got a booth downstairs if you want some Kit Kats. Luke's got some if you want to get some at the end. And I think we're going to hang around for some questions if people want to do that. So thank you very much.